Okay.
Which
Shit. Did I just miss a line?
is the line, but like,
Oh, back. Okay. A pleasant little chime greets me as I enter the station, Marina trailing close behind. The drive was quiet as I turned the music on. Turning the tables on her and asking what she was doing out here seemed to throw her off. I didn't mean to come off as cold as I did. It's just been ages since I've had the conversation beyond accepting some half-hearted condolences. Though to be fair, I haven't really wanted to hold one. The guy behind the counter is busy ringing someone up, so I set out in search of a gas can. The store is one of those big mini-mart places, made specifically for travelers. Surprisingly clean for a place surrounded by sand. Every corner has an unnatural, sanitary shine, accompanied by the scent of citrus cleaning product.
wish every mini mart was like this.
Yeah.
Hey, they have cold labor over here.
I turn and find Marina clutching the slushie machine, her eyes widening like a cat's when tempted with yarn. Don't most gas stations have it? She shakes her head, but doesn't take her eyes off the machine.
The places back home only had cherry and raspberry. We got sick of them. We just had to mix them together. But
Marina finally turns to me, wearing a face of pure, concentrated sadness.
I left my wallet in the car.
Jesus Christ. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Just looking at her, I can feel my heart break. Wait a second.
These are the definition of youth.
How are you expecting to pay for the gas? Like, I feel like Marina's and Amber is like one of the situations where it's like, you know, like the shipping where it's like the dumbass character and like the other guy person's like, oh you're so stupid, and then just starts taking their clothes off.
Yeah, Amber's moronsexual.
Yeah. Amber is definitely a morosexual. How are you expecting to pay for the gas?
I don't know. I just remembered.
How did she last 5 minutes out in the desert? Fine, well, I guess I'll pay for it. Real? Oh.
Really?
Yeah, and grab yourself one of those slushies too. But make it a small one. Her pure concentrated sadness melts into a pure concentrated happiness.
The best, Amber.
She grabs a cup and holds down the button till the slushie overflows and drips down the side. I was going to pay for the gas anyway, but I'm hoping the drink makes up for the drive over. I spot the gas cans, and with Marina happily sipping her drink, grab one and head for the counter. The guy at the register is still ringing up the same girl. Lines of flimsy plastic bags line over the counter, filled with a mixture of off-brand junk food and gardening tools. Scans the item as the girl digs through her wallet, her banana-wrapped head pressing a phone against her shoulder. You should do her too.
Are you supposed to be the badass mechanic? What good are you if you're not?
She swipes the card and hands it to the cashier, more interested in staring at her nails than looking at him.
How would I know? Have the squirt check underneath if you're so curious.
On the other end of the line, I can hear the faintest of squabbling. Can't make out anything they're saying, but the sounds worlds more tolerable than the girls.
If it's that old, then I say do it. Cash is cash. It's not like anyone's gonna care.
You better not take. Oh, sorry, it's you.
Better not take as long as last time. I'll be waiting for you slackers outside.
The girl slips her phone back into the crevices of her dangerously unzipped jumpsuit. With what little clothing she has on underneath looks like it's gonna burst from the slightest movement. Okay, Amber. Not my type, especially with that personality, but it's hard for me to do anything other than stare. I'm starting to think Amber might be a lesbian.
Gee, what gave it away?
The attendant reaches out to help with the bags, but the girl snaps them away before he can. She shoots him with a heated glare that burns straight through the man and into the wall behind him. Turning around, the girl looks at us for a second before rolling her eyes, then marches at the door, the bags weighing her down as they nearly scrape the ground. Yeah, definitely not my type. Oh shit, there's a sprite for the cashier. I guess I'll do the attendant. Good luck! Marina and I set the can and nearly empty slushie on the counter. Will that be all? Yeah, sorry if we're more boring than that other girl. The attendant hacks out a dry cackle and scans the gas can. He flicks his oily ponytail behind his shoulders and then rings up Marina's drink. Been a lot of folks passing through and stocking up the past few days. It's been a good change of pace. I'm guessing that's why you girls are here too? Marina eases in towards— oh, I like this bit. Nudging herself tightly between me and a rack, her hands creeping over the slushie. For what? I'm just heading out to California. If I don't end up driving myself insane first. You mean you don't know? The attendant freezes, forgetting about the scanner in his hand. Blinding red light beams from it onto my chest. About what? Why, the treasure! Marina's hand—
sweet treasure!
Marina's hand stops just shy of grabbing the cup. Treasure? The clerk's chubby face morphs into a grin. You telling me that you girls haven't heard of the treasure in the journal?
We have.
I frown, embarrassed. Marina looks at the floor again, her cheeks flushing red. I guess she's always just this forward.
Put it on the news. Kind of why I drove down here.
You drove out into the middle of the desert for treasure? Sorry, but you've lost me. Not just any treasure, Missy. The miner's treasure. He says it like that should clarify what he meant. I stare at him. He stares back. Marina sips the last dregs of her slushie. I don't know why that line's so funny to me. You honestly don't know? Not a clue. Are you gonna change that? Little feisty, ain't ya? Not really, just have stuff to do. Fair enough. A little while back, some folks were going through all the trash in their garage. As fate would have it, they came across an old journal. Turns out the thing belonged to their great-uncle, or maybe it was their great-grandfather, I don't know. Some dead old man. I cut him off with a cough, a polite hint for him to either get on with it or quit his yammering. Despite apparently knowing all this, Marina continues to stay focused with rapt attention. Sometimes her drink makes that annoying slurping sound again. Sorry, I'll try to keep it short. Anyway, after flipping through it, they found out that he'd struck it rich during the gold rush. If he struck it rich, then why wouldn't the family know about it? They'd have to be pretty well off, right?
I can answer that. Went back home to Missouri without any gold and told all his friends he hid it.
By now, the slushie is all gone. Marina tries for one last sip, but all that's sucked through the straw is air. She peers down into the cup and blows out a small sigh. That's such a relatable mood, though.
No one believes him, though.
I raise an eyebrow. If even this girl knows about it, then I must be more out of the loop than I thought. Well now, it looks like sister here's been doing her research. The attendant leans into the counter and smirks. Story goes, he wanted to eventually move his family out west and dig his gold back up along the way, but kicked it before he could. He slides his thumb along the neck and makes a cheesy sound effect to go with it. Marina giggles, but I just keep staring. The folks that found the journal ended up selling it to some hotshot publishing house. Now everyone wants to retrace his steps and find the treasure. Shipments have been selling like hotcakes. Just got ours last week. He points to a rack of identical books sitting by the door. A sign hanging above it reads, Treasure of the Desert, a miner's journey. Take part in the new gold rush. Yeah, that'll stick in people's heads. It's like a light novel title. People are really buying into this? Sure are. I've worked here for over 20 years, and never have I seen this many people passing through. Even the Banshee before you was here for some supplies and a journal. Sure, okay, this is a hoax if I've ever seen one. And where is this supposed treasure? No one knows. That's why it's treasure. It's all scattered around the desert. They say the journal has hints of it whereabouts. Uh-huh. Marina, you said this was why you drove out here?
That's right.
But you don't really believe that treasure exists, do you?
I do.
She pauses to think.
At least want to. Wouldn't it be super cool if there was treasure?
Sure, it would be cool. But there's a good chance there isn't. Even if there were, do you know where to start looking?
Oh, not really. I never got that far. I don't even have a copy of the journal.
She lowers her head, like she knows there's a good chance that what I'm saying is true.
I have to try.
Her voice is soft and quiet, but there's a faint glow of determination behind it. Makes me feel ashamed for scolding, but the idea that she dropped everything for treasure is insane. To her credit, she did a little research, but that's canceled out by driving into the desert without a full tank of gas. She wasn't prepared at all. The people who care about her must be worried sick. I barely even know her, and I'm worried. Aw, don't be so hard on her, Missy. After all, who can resist a good treasure hunt? I don't know what voice I'm trying to do.
You're doing a voice, and
Yeah.
that's enough.
He looks to Marina and gives a big gummy grin, courtesy of his missing teeth. Ain't that right, sister? Marina springs back to a smile of her own.
That's right.
Rolling my eyes, I reach into my pocket and pass some crumpled bills to the clerk. Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it. He shrugs and stuffs the cash in the register. Then I'm just paying for the tank and the empty cup. I pocket the change. Give a casual wave from the exit. That should be good enough, thank you. Marina follows, though a bit more animated, waving her arm like a fan as she says goodbye. Oh, and sister. Oh, shit, that was you. You go ahead and take one of them journals. Free of charge.
Really?
Marina lights up like a firecracker and bounces up and down like she's a kid again. Yep.
Oh, wow, thanks, mister.
In one swift motion, she swipes one of the remaining books off the rack so fast that I swear my eyes are skipping frames.
Amber, look, he gave me one for free.
Yeah, I see it. I tune her out her chattering and nod as we walk out the parking lot so we can finally get the fuel. The attendant shouts one last thing, his voice fading behind the glass of the closing door. Good luck on your trip. That was not the same voice. I don't know. Desert people are weird.
The desert is just like advanced country.
Yeah. No way.
What I mean,
Yeah.
See, it's further up the road?
I can't believe it. It's gone.
I just passed it.
We weren't even that way that long. How can it be gone? We stare at the empty space that once housed a certain ugly green car. I look in every conceivable direction, but there's nothing. Nothing but an ocean of sand and never-ending stretch of road. Was it towed? No, not out here. Not this quick. Where the hell did it go?
Yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
Marina's hand rests against her cheek. No, it's not. As she looks on with only mild confusion, like she's trying to solve a small mystery. Your car is missing. That's more than a little weird.
Oh, it's actually my big brother's car. He just lent it to me when he left for college.
Oh, well, that makes everything better then.
Really?
No! I let out a heavy sigh and pressed my fingers to my temple, attempting to massage away the stress and irritation. It was probably stolen. We need to call the police. You have a phone. I do. Oh, shit.
I do, but...
Her voice trails off a cliff. What she said earlier echoes in my head. That's right, you said it was dead. And I'm guessing you left it in your car?
Yeah.
Well, that's just great.
You have one?
Nope, never needed one.
Economy?
And a cell phone?
Afraid no one will call you?
Not quite. I shield my eyes and look up at the... Is it getting darker?
Yeah.
Its color has shifted to a glowing orange as sunset begins to settle over the distant valley peaks. It's going to get dark pretty soon. Don't worry, Amber. Oh shit, that was you.
Or Amber, I'd call you.
I can't just leave her. Even if she did have her phone, it would take forever for anyone to get out here. She'd go from burning up in the heat to freezing out in the cold within a few hours. Plus, if there are people around who would steal cars, there's no telling who else is out here. I can already see how all this would go down. She'd be huddled on the side of the road trying to keep warm. A pack of coyotes would be howling all around her, closing in. Then, from down the road, a starved creep would pull up in a trash-filled pickup truck. Oh, wow, Amber, you don't have to go that far. Oh God. Hey, where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm from Southbad.
You don't have to say that about Carl.
I mean, it's true, he was kind of bad. The town really has to acknowledge that.
She pauses for a moment. Alright. Oh.
At least kind of close to it. It's a little out of the way.
Carl's bad. You're from California?
Oh, silly. Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Oh, right. Had me going there for a second. How far's that?
Maybe 2 hours from here?
Wow, you didn't get very far at all, did you? Marina lowers her head in shame.
I never really seem to.
Though I'm not really one to talk, I've been on the road for less than a day. Would have gotten further if traffic on the I-40 wasn't such a pain in the butt, or if I didn't pick up Marina. Hey, listen, you don't live too far away. If you want, I can probably give you a lift back home. I hurt myself for an explosion of thankful energy and excitement. But there isn't one. I don't know why she was expecting that. Instead, she continues to stare at the ground, her hands now balled up in a fist as she fidgets ever so slightly. Something wrong? She sifts her gaze from the ground and looks me straight in the eyes, drawing a deep, long breath.
Remember the treasure we were talking about in the store?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot to ask, and you've already helped me out so much already. You think you could take me to the first place the treasure is?
Huh? She wants to keep going? Even after this entire disaster?
Treasure! You take me to the first...
I heard you the first time. It's just... You don't even know this thing is real, but you've dropped everything to go look for it. And now you're asking me, someone you've just met out in the middle of the desert, to take you to it. Even though, if you don't know if it's real, and you have just had your car stolen... Did I catch all that?
Huh?
Shameless. I'm at a loss for words. How do I even respond to that? I try to recollect my thoughts, but only one word comes to mind. Why? Marina shrugs. Nothing more than that. She just shrugs. Take a look at her. A good look. Her wavy hair has been dried out by the hot desert air. Her face is red and drenched in sweat, probably close to melting off her makeup. Even her nice clothes are a little ruffled. But despite all that, this cute, peppy girl wants to keep pressing on. Even when most people would have just called it quits after the car broke down. Even out here all by herself. For all I know, she could be some weirdo out to mug me and this is all some elaborate scheme. She wants my help. My help. It's been a while since anyone has needed that. It's like an honor. Do I deserve that? Probably not. But she's still asking. Why should I say no? I don't have to be in California for another few weeks, and isn't that why I'm taking this trip? To see the sights. For him. She's a little excitable. Even more naive. Maybe I need a little bit of that. It's a lot better than just being out here all by myself with nothing but the ghosts and my memories to keep me company. Even if it's just for a little while. Eh, why the hell not? Hop in.
For real?
Yeah, for real. But only until the first location. After that, the breath is forced out of me by the sharp impact of Marina tackling my stomach. A warm but damp sensation wraps itself tightly around me as dead weight snuggles up against my chest.
Love. Thank you.
What are you doing?
I'm hugging you, silly.
My cheeks grow warmer with each passing second. I try to wiggle my way out, but she stays latched on, her grip getting tighter and tighter. Marina, please. You're all sweaty.
Sorry, I'm just super happy.
She unlatches herself, letting me clear my throat and recollect myself. Anyway, let's get inside. I'm burning up out here. We clamber back inside the motorhome, leaving the dry hellish behind. I turn the ignition and let the AC blast away the RV's stuffiness. Letting out breaths of sweet relief, Marina and I collapse back into our seats. Alright, so where's the first piece of the treasure?
Oh.
You have no idea, do you?
That's not true. The news said a part of it was somewhere here in New Mexico. Probably.
I'm not surprised at all. Should have seen this coming. You have the journal?
Yeah.
She hands the cheap paperback book to me. The cover feels like it would fall apart at the turn of a page. The whole thing is fitting of its rustic design. I slide my thumb across the edge and flip through the pages. Thick forewords and passages commenting on the journal's historical significance skip past my eyes, most long enough to be their own book. Finally, a photocopied picture of one of the original entries appears, preserving the faded cursive lettering, the entire thing printed on the next page over. Crusting brown stains and wrinkles engrave the photo. Some of the writing has been scratched out too, like someone made mistakes and couldn't erase them. I hate to admit it, but for something that's probably a sham, the thing looks pretty authentic. With bounty and... Oh, want to do this one?
Yeah. Bounty and satisfaction in hand, I'm now homeward bound, prepared for this journey forthcoming. My unrivaled intellect and unmatched ambition, I have succeeded in accomplishing what many believe would no longer be profitable. Of course, this only comes as a surprise to those around me, not myself. Traveled this way on the trail with many others from the Missouri Territory. As my typical characteristic success grew, I could sense the envious stares amongst my so-called peers. Danger evidently became so great that I wished to flee, but my companions left before I woke. What reason, you may ask? I do not know. It's with this in mind that I've taken upon myself to leave a note for one of my fellow prospectors and to borrow his steed so that I may one day return to settle with my family. If this journey has taught me anything thus far, is that jealous, conniving eyes are abundant. No fool.
Fuck. I'm not reading all this crap. Where should I actually start? Let's see if I can't believe they would just do that. Let's see, if he left for California, lived in Missouri, and supposedly hid something in New Mexico, like Marina said, then what we're looking for is likely a later entry. Ah, here we are.
Last I have reached the final point of division in my travels. During my stay among the Moronsexual, the rogue native Lamasi has informed me of a landmark that was rich in the mythos of his people, considered sacred. He said that the chance of gold being discovered would be very slim. He referred to it as Winged Rock, a monument erected towards the sky. At previous detour, I finally arrived. It's with much disbelief, I must say. My friend Lamasi was right. It's not just a mountain demon breaking toward the sky, it's a mountain. It's as if the Lord himself had struck upon the earth among the stand. It's guarded by trails of rocks around it, all branching from another rock. This journey, I've encountered many different sights, dangers, and yes, even an occasional friend. As I look up the mountain upon the mountain before me, I am reminded once more that there are things bigger and greater than I. Though I'm not yet rid of this cough, my soul has been humbled and removed the fatigue. He's totally gonna die. I can think of no better place to store the last of my gold as I anxiously await the day I return. What does it say?
The gist of it is that it's near a big rock and a bunch of little rocks.
That should narrow it down, right?
Yeah, to the entire state of New Mexico. Marina gasps and lunges towards the journal, the muscles in her neck tensed and eyes wide with panic.
Can't be the only thing he mentioned. There has to be more.
I raise the journal high above me so she can't reach it, using my hands as a blockade against her head as she desperately tries to grasp for it. Sheesh, relax for a second. I actually have a pretty good idea where it might be. She settles down, still stiff with anxiety, nibbling on the tip of her thumb. I lower the book back down and read over the entry one more time, just to make sure. There's a part where he calls it a winged rock. Assuming my years of reading travel guides and brochures weren't totally useless, then I'm pretty sure that's a loose translation of what the Navajo used to call shiprock.
There's a ship out there in the desert? Oh.
I peer over the journal. Marina's imagination is going bonkers. Her eyes alight as she tries to wrap her head around such a novelty even existing. How long have you lived in New Mexico? Marina swells up with pride, only to deflate like a balloon before speaking, instead choosing to blow a misplaced strand of hair out of the way.
My life.
I sigh and slam the journal shut. It's a small mountain near the border of New Mexico and Utah that's vaguely shaped like a ship.
Oh, okay. Makes way more sense.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Thing's a landmark.
Yeah. Hey, at least I know now.
Shrugging, I put away the journal and smirk. This place as it might be, her cheeriness is a good mix-up from the norm.
Think the treasure might be there?
Dunno, but it's worth a shot. We don't have anything else to go on. Sure you don't want me to just take you home? Marina hesitates for a moment, turning to the windshield as if to dodge the question with her eyes.
Oh, I think I want to do this.
Alright then. Put the car in drive and look ahead. The sun has set, the blue shade of dusk rising up to take its place. I press down on the gas. Marina turns to me and smiles. Let's hit the road.